virtual. You can do that. Hello, everybody. Hello, everybody online. I have been spending the last few minutes welcoming everybody who's in the room with me, which is a whole bunch of people. I can't spin this around, but our room is full. And our room is full online, too. So I'm very happy to have you with me. A lot of our friends are snowed in tonight. So, you know, they call that a captured audience. Not necessarily. You could be watching television. So I appreciate that those of you who are snowed in are watching me. I won't tell you what the weather's like here. We are not snowed in. But, you know, that sounds exciting to Los Angelinos sometimes. We don't get snow days, you know. Anyway, it's beautiful. I've been watching online pictures of your homes and your hometowns and how bundled you are with your families and how beautiful that is. And the snow is such a powerful reminder of this season. You know, winter is about not going outside. Winter is about going inside. Spiritually, right? So winter is about not extending all of your energy out into the space, but it's about pulling all that energy back into you. Because if you don't rest now, if you don't become introspective, if you don't rest, then when the growing season comes, and it's right around the corner, hard to see that under 15 feet of snow, I'm sure, but the growing season is around the corner, you're not going to have that energy to go and do the things. So you need to take this time to rest. The snow is just a really helpful factor that forces you to do it if you're like me and you sometimes don't know how to rest. Get a little reminder. So I'm happy you're here with me. I was telling everybody in the room, those of you who are online, tonight's going to be interesting. It is the first full moon of 2016 of a 9-year. You add up 2016, you get a 9. Last year was an 8-year. 8 is the number of infinity and abundance. 8, you put it inside infinity. So last year was all about just, you know, spinning out growth. This year is 9. It's the number of the cycles of completion. So what this whole year is about, as we go from goddess to goddess, is our question for each of the goddesses is, how are you going to help us complete? Now here's the thing. First full moon of 2016 in a 9-year is in Leo, the sign that will kick your ass, right? And we're working with Kali Ma, who will also kick your ass. I'm just saying, it's not going to be a boring night. I don't know what kind of night it's going to be, but it's not going to be boring. I think you're in a good place. Okay, so what we're going to do tonight, there's a lot of different meditations on Kali. You know, has anybody ever meditated on Kali before? Interested? Anybody online done something? Brian has?
I love it.
Yeah. Everybody, well, listen. Kali has this thing where it's like love-hate, right? Can you guys online hear me okay? It sounds like you can. Okay, good. They can. It's love-hate, because people are either too afraid to work with Kali, or they don't know how to work with Kali. Kali is one of the faces of Shakti. She's one of the faces of the force of creation. And what's interesting to me, you know, part of what I teach people in my work is how dramatically interrelated all the paths are. Do you know what I mean? Think about the name Kali, okay? Ka in Egyptian means what? You know what Ka means in Egyptian? It reduces down in a really like reductionistic way to the word that they had for magic. Okay? It's much more than that. It is spirit and it is it's everything. But Ka was their way of expressing what we would now consider to be magic. Okay? So Kali. But Kali, the word Kali itself means what? Anybody know? We'll pop quiz time. What does it mean in Hindu? Hindu tradition. It means time. Yeah? Kali is the goddess of time. And what's interesting to me, like Kronos is the god of time in the Greek tradition. I've always been fascinated by these deities of time and why we don't have one in our way of thinking about the world. But a lot of the major pantheons had some conception of deity of time. And that's because time is everything. Time expands, it contracts, it slips on itself, it folds on itself, it's relative, it crosses dimension. So if you are a goddess of time, you are a goddess of all things, because everything exists in time. Time is relative, and time, like I said, expands and contracts. You talk to people who have had encounters with extraterrestrial beings, which has happened in my family and a lot in my community. They talk about losing time or gaining time. Have you heard about this? Like time expands and contracts. Anyway, so there's Kali. Her name folds in the word for magic from the Egyptian tradition. My belief, by the way, just so you know, is that all of the pantheons and traditions expanded out of one original civilization that collapsed and then blew out and became Egypt and Mesopotamia and became South America and so on and so forth. And we can talk about that some other time. So to me, it's interesting that that word Ka is baked into her name. And then she's also known as Kali Ma. Anybody know what Ma means? Mother. Okay. Two words for mother in the ancient languages, Ma and Mu. Okay. Ma and Mu. Mu being part of the name Lemuria. Yeah, because Lemuria was once known as Mu, or the motherland. Are you seeing where I'm going with this? Like, there's all of these. We all think we're so original and that our gods and goddesses are the ones. And what I guess makes my practice interesting to me still after all these years is I'm seeing how we're all in this one matrix together. And Kali is one face of a much bigger divine, feminine, creative force that has its counterpart at Shiva, right? And that is the entire force, but you can call that different things at different times. So when you think Kali's so scary and I don't know how to work with Kali, you've already worked with Kali, probably just by a different name or just a different way of being. But every tradition has this idea that in order to create something, you have to make way for it by reducing or eliminating or removing what isn't serving anymore. You have to create a vacuum so that something new can begin. Yeah? And so what Kali does, and I was saying, this is how it's going to work for us this year, guys, just so you know. We're going to work with the goddesses beginning at the end of the ceremony of the goddess before us. Let me explain what that means. In my mind, we've been working with Kali for a month now. She's been working on you for a month. You may not even know it yet. Or you may be like, I'm so done with Kali right now. Can we just move on to the other? I'm done. I graduated from Kali University, and I'm really ready to get my diploma. So you're going to graduate in about 50 minutes, and we're going to begin our work with Bridget, who is a very different goddess to work with. She's going to pick up where Kali leaves off, and she's going to carry us to our March goddess, who I'm not going to tell you who that is right now because I like to keep it a surprise, but she is a beautiful counterpoint then to Bridget. And so it's going to go throughout the rest of the year. So in 50 minutes, our work with Kali ends for 2016. But whether or not you see it, she's been removing things that aren't serving you anymore. Yeah? Okay. And that probably culminated for you this week. Did it? Can you see it? Okay. Congratulations. Kali University. Okay. Diploma's in the mail. Diploma's in the mail. Somebody said, ouch. It's challenging, but here's the thing. I mean, these are all the cycles. This is how it is. And so I want to talk briefly about what Kali does before we move into our meditation for tonight. Kali rules the heart and root chakras. You want to know some technicalities about her? Okay. She rules the breath and the blood, as well as the skeleton. I'm becoming very interested in how the goddesses work with the body. Does that interest any of you? Like, how do they connect to the physical body? And so I'm going to be tracing that all year long. Like, what do each of the goddesses do? And how can we work with them in our physicality? And so Kali is heart, physical heart, as well as heart chakra, root in terms of safety and connectedness to earth. And she rules your skeleton, your breath, and your blood. So we're going to go, usually in my meditations, if you've been with me for like the whole 4 years we've been doing this, usually in our meditations, I take you somewhere else. And I'm taking you through crown chakra, and we're spinning, and we're flying to Egypt, or whatever we're doing. Tonight, we are going down, in, and through the body, okay? And we're going to like go visit your veins a little bit, your arteries. And we're going to, because here's what happens. When you are not letting go of things, it shows up in your body. So tonight I want to go inside of you. I'm going to have your guides taking you inside of you. And then have you find out where these resistances are, like the things you haven't let go of yet. We're going to pick them up as we move through your body. We'll see you. And then we're going to send them down into the earth, into the core. Yeah? Pretty good. Okay. And then Bridget is going to pick up, and she's going to bring in, because Bridget is the goddess of the sacred fire as well as the healing waters. And so what Bridget is going to do next month is come in and fill in all of that. Do you feel it's like just like a she'll come in and she'll replace and move through and help me recuperate. And that work will begin right after we're done tonight. So we don't have to, that's the energy that's coming through. I'm so excited. Lisa says she's my bae. Are we talking about Kali or are we talking about Bridget? I'm guessing it's Bridget is more your bae. I'm not sure Kali ever had herself call someone bae before. That might be very new for Kali. Well, Kali is Shakti to Shiva. Yeah, she's one face of Shakti. That's right. Who are you thinking of? She's one face of the Devi or Diva.
And then there's Shiva's destruction thing. There's something cow as well.
Oh, Kala. Yeah, Kala to Kali. That's right. That's right. That's right. That's right. Kala to the Kali. Yeah. And what's interesting is Kala, the word Kala in Greek means good. Oh. Isn't it just interesting how all of that? Yeah. So he was asking, doesn't Kali have a partner god? And the face of Shiva, I don't want to confuse everybody too much. The face of Shiva, because Kali is one face of Shakti, who's the consort of Shiva. Yeah. If I'm losing you already, just like la 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 for a minute. And then I know, remember in school where you're just like, can you just stop and just keep it really simple? So la la la. The face of Shiva, for whom she is the consort, is Kala, who's also a god, a destructive god face. And I want you to think of them as faces because, I mean, even Bridget has 3 faces. Most of the goddesses have at least 3 faces. Number 3, Maiden, Mother, Crone, Father, Son, Holy Spirit. I can go on and on. All things. So anyway, for tonight, hashtag all the things. It's all connected. We're not so different, you and me. Kali. Okay, so let me read to you one of my favorite descriptions of Kali. I'm a big reader. I don't know if you like books, but I like books. This is called The Goddess Guide. Brian gets props. Brian brought me The Goddess Guide, and I was like, oh, that's an interesting book. And I went home, it was on my bookshelf. I was like, well, yeah. I mean, if you have a lot of books, you kind of forget, right? It's like, oh, I had that book. Kali Ma, Hindu goddess of time. Kali Ma is the manifestation of the Divine Mother in Hindu society. She is most often depicted in her destroyer aspect with black skin. By the way, black skin because in that tradition, black is seen as the color into which all other colors fold and become, and also don't become. Right? So it's like the great receiver of color. A skirt of human limbs and a necklace of skulls. She's the creating force of the universe and is the eternal power of time, order, and chaos. She is dark and formless, and her unlimited power of transformation is often compared to the black holes found in outer space. She destroys that which is no longer needed, creating a void in which all things are possible. And I want to say that again, because this is what I love about, like, that's the sentence for me. She destroys that which is no longer needed, creating a void in which all things are possible. Yeah? Kali Ma is the Shakti of Shiva and also rules wild, untamed feminine strength. So crazy with the tongue out, you know? Not so ladylike. Okay, neither am I, so we're in good company. Are you ready? Ready to make all the things possible? Look, when the universe creates space, you can either look at that space and say, I'm scared, this feels scary, it feels empty, I feel alone, I don't know what to do, I need help. Or you can look at that space and say, that is potential. I could put anything here. There's so much that could happen in this space. And the difference, I think, is how empowered you feel to fill that space. So part of what I want Kali to do for us tonight, if she's so willing to do that, it's hard to make requests of her, but if I may make a request, is to help empower us while we remove all this stuff. Yeah, so that when we look at that void, we say, wow, I could put anything there. You know, those relationships you just took out of there, I could fill that with an amazing new partnership. You know, that void you just created in whatever part of my life, that is a seat for someone who's going to come in and make things happen. But that's an empowered perspective. The other perspective, which you know as well as I do, can be, that's really scary. What am I going to do with that? How am I going to function with that? Yeah? Okay. So I want you to roll your shoulders back, get into a nice comfortable position. I always say the same thing every month, which is I'm really happy you're here. I know you're very busy. Never for me, says Carol. I appreciate that. I'm never too busy for you either. All the things can wait. This is 1 hour a month. Yeah? So I once was in a class and we had a teacher say to me, which is why I say it to you every month. She looked at me and everyone else and said, right now, you have nowhere else to go and nowhere else to be. And I looked at her and I rolled my shoulders back and I just felt like that was a hug. Right now, you have nowhere else to go and nowhere else to be. So just be with me for a few minutes. And more importantly, be with yourself for a few minutes. Just close your eyes, release, 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 release. That's the theme for tonight. Let go of any thoughts about what's happening outside, what happened to you earlier today, what's going to happen tomorrow, the dinner you haven't cooked yet, the small people who need you, the big people who need you, the animals who need you, the furry people who need you. Just letting go of all of that for right now. Are you guys okay? Okay. We had a minor grid malfunction. We're fine. We're fine.
Gender energy.
Calling in energies to support grid repair. Just total relaxation in this moment. Take a moment to think about where you've sent your energy today, people, places, conversations, and just calling all those cords and energies back into you right now. That energy belongs to you. 98% of the energy you carry around every day doesn't belong to you. I'd like you to let it go. Those are big bags to carry around. So letting everybody else's energy go back to them, asking your guides to do that on your behalf because you may not even know who it belongs to. So guides, just on our behalf, just release any energy that isn't ours right now. Thoughts, feelings, emotions, sensations don't belong to us. And call all of our energy back into us on our behalf from anywhere it may be. Just restoring all of our own internal energy cords. Just creating space for total integration tonight. You should do this every night before you go to bed. Send all the nice people back their energy. Call all of your energy back from the nice people. And the not so nice people. Okay. So put your hands on your knees with your palms facing up. And just before we begin, I do call in my guides, the guides of everyone who's gathering in the circle virtually and here in the space tonight. We give thanks for the connection. We welcome this new year, the new potential of this year, what it can create and build, what it can nurture within us. So I'm thankful for our gathering tonight. And we give due respect to Kali, who is the goddess that we are working with this evening. Just honoring her presence and the fact that we've been working with her energy for the past 30 days, giving thanks for the ways in which she has already begun shifting patterns in our lives, knowing that the connection with her formally ends this evening, but we give thanks for our ability to learn from her and with her. And so to open our circle, I want you to imagine that out of your left hand extends a white beam of light. And that beam of light is about 4 to 6 inches in diameter. Let it have a temperature, a texture in your hands. You can really imagine it clearly. Let it be warm in your hand. And that beam of light is going to extend out of your left hand and work its way around the circle that's gathered tonight. So out of your left hand and into the right hand of the person who's seated next to you, Even if you're alone, you are in circle this evening. And it'll work its way through their energy centers out of their left hand into the right hand of the person who's seated next to them. And so it'll wind and work its way around. There are people gathered tonight on almost every continent in the world. We can stay up all night long to do our rituals live. So thankful for everyone. And just watching, feeling, sensing that energy binding and connecting us around this evening. And that beam of light will come back to you in your right hand after it's worked its way around. And when it does, you'll feel your right hand get warmer. And in that moment, you're really holding the energy of the space, you're holding the energy of this container. Incredible spirits who join together for these rituals. And I want you to take a moment to send around that beam of light that's connecting us all right now. Just send love or gratitude or peace, anything that you need to feel tonight, send it out of your left hand and it'll work its way back to you. People in the circle tonight who are grieving big losses right now that I know of. So just sending all of you peace, comfort, knowing that you're not alone. Let that energy come through your right hand, up your right arm, through your shoulder, over and into your energy centers, and let it nourish you as well. And you can keep your eyes closed while I read to you our directional invocation, which I wrote for tonight. So on this evening, I call to the spirits and guides of each person in this sacred circle to come closer. Encircle and surround us with love, protection, wisdom, connection this evening as we gather to celebrate the fullness of the moon, an event that we will witness no more than 1,000 times with our eyes. May its magic never lose its power for us or our kind. And to the gatekeepers of the four directions, we thank you for turning your gaze toward us this evening. We honor your sacred presence. We thank you for your guardianship. Kali Ma, goddess of the shedding, the releasing and transforming of energies that no longer serve us, we honor your presence in the circle this evening as well. I call first to the direction of east, Libra, Aquarius, Gemini, element of air, breath of life. I inhale love, and I exhale peace. Air, I soften into this moment and I release into you all hesitation, agitation, anxiety, and fear. Guardians and gatekeepers of the element of air, we thank you and we ask that you teach us the wisdom of your ways. I call to the direction of south, Leo, Sagittarius, Aries, element of fire, flame of creation. I light the flame and raise the torch. I burn through the rage, anxiety, fear, and let it all become ashes and dust. Guardians and gatekeepers of the element of fire, teach us the wisdom of your ways. I call to the direction of west, Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio, element of water, grandmother ocean. I swim into your depths and feel your presence within me. I surrender my resistance to your divine flow, and I trust that it is safe to feel my feelings, the unfiltered truths. Guardians and gatekeepers of the element of water, teach us the wisdom of your ways. I call to the direction of north, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, element of earth, Pachamama. I lay down within you, I lean in to rest upon you, knowing that I am safe and held in the comfort of your steady embrace. I return to you all events of the past and energies I can no longer hold. Guardians and gatekeepers of the element of earth, teach us the wisdom of your ways. And so our circle opens this evening. May the energy we raise serve the highest good of all present and those who will watch later. And together we say, Amen, Aho, and so it is. Amen, Aho, so it is. Okay. So I would like you to light your candle if you have it. This is Kali. If you got one. These full moon kits are the centerpiece of the online class that I teach called the Magical Sabbatical, as well as our full moon ritual. So they're becoming very scarce because I can't make more than I used to. There's just more people who want them. So I do recommend if you want the Bridget set, you should get it. I think we have a couple of dozen left in the shop tonight for next month. If you enjoy working with the herbs and oils and the stones. So tonight we're working with hematite and we're working with fire agate. And let me tell you why. These are the warming and cooling stones. These are both root chakra stones, but they couldn't be more different. Hematite is cooling and grounding, while the fire agate, which is both sacral and root, is generative and creative and a hot stone. So these are going to be our partner pieces as we work with Kali. I recommend that you have a cooling stone to work with in your left hand this evening and a warming stone to work with in your right hand. Warming stones, think carnelian. Fire agate's the best, but think carnelian, stones that have a fire element affiliation. Cooling stones, think of the deep root chakra stones. Black tourmaline would be great. Hematite's a good one. Obsidian will also work. So hopefully that's helpful. Okay, just give you a sense of that. The Kali perfume has dragon's blood and jasmine, among other things. I'm going to send my bottle around the room in case anybody doesn't have it and would like to work with it tonight. And we use perfumes when we work with the goddesses because these are their scents. When you want to work with energies, you know, there are different ways to work with it. If you're a tactile person, the stones are good. If you're a scent person, and remember, the spirits recognize scents. It happens here all the time. We'll be burning frankincense, and you'll just feel a totally different presence in the building. Have you ever had that experience? Because those scents are ancient. You know what I mean? I mean, you have spent lifetimes smelling those scents. So people say, well, how does frankincense work to clear a space? And I think, because it calls all the things, it calls all the spirits, from the wise men on up. Right? So scent is very important in terms of like not just summoning the energies of the spirits who connect with those scents, but also reminding you, because your sense of smell is so old. I posted in one of my groups about how when your body, did you see the article about smelling frankincense and healing? That when your body smells frankincense, that it triggers a healing response in your body, like cellular renewal. That didn't surprise me at all, but I found it fascinating, right? I mean, aromatherapy is a whole other thing, and there really is so much healing that can be done for you on a physical level by working with the essential oils. It's very powerful. Okay, I'm going to let the siren go by. Sage Goddess is next to a fire station, and it's a full moon in Leo, so it had to happen at least once. Okay. Rolling your shoulders back, hands on your knees. So we are going to do a type of breathing to get us started tonight called parasympathetic breathing. Okay. Your sympathetic nervous system is the one that controls the fight or flight response, right? Like I'm in danger, I'm afraid, I need to. And what happens to your breathing? 3, 2, 1. I just feel like it should dance. What are you gonna do, right? We have 20 candles lit in the room, but you know, your sympathetic nervous system is what is activated when you think you're in danger. And what happens to your breathing in that mode? Well, in that mode, what happens? It's right? You're not releasing those deep inhales and exhales, which actually flood your system with oxygen and help you cope. It's like the irony is it's the opposite. Parasympathetic breathing is when the exhale is longer than the inhale by even a couple of seconds, nourishes your body. So since Kali rules this, we're going to start with some breathing together. Okay, we're going to try 5 parasympathetic breaths that sound like this. And the longer you can make that exhale relative to the inhale, the more healing that is for your body. Okay, so let's just try 5 deep. This definitely is yoga breathing. Okay, just giving you a different name for it. a more technical name for it, but it is the yoga breath. Okay. And then there are different traditions where if you start to put those parasympathetic breaths together, one after the other after the other, you actually reach an altered state of awareness, consciousness. We're not doing that tonight, so don't get excited. I'm just telling you it's possible. Okay, so we're going to do 5 breaths together. So when you're ready, go ahead and take the first inhale. And exhale. So good. Let's do that again. Go ahead and inhale. And exhale. Now on the next inhale, I want you to be very intentional about what you are inhaling. We can try a common theme for this first one of inhaling peace, okay? And on the exhale, I want you to exhale any fear in your body, okay? So go ahead and take that inhale with peace and let go of any fear. And really empty that diaphragm. That's the power of it. The last 2 breaths, I want you to choose, but be intentional. What are you taking in on the inhale, and what are you letting go of on the exhale? And just asking that colleague guide us in these last 2 breaths to inspire you for what it is you need to take in and release. Okay, so take a moment to get centered on your intention for the breath. And go ahead and take the inhale and exhale. This is the last one, so getting centered on the intention. What are you taking in? What are you letting go of? And then go ahead and take the inhale. And really empty that diaphragm completely. And you should feel more relaxed than you did 10 or 15 breaths ago. Hopefully that worked well for you. Julia says connection in, blockages out. Love that. Natasha says knowledge in, ignorance out. So good. So good that you guys are setting those intentions. If you're crying already, that's a good thing. Give the rest of us a minute to catch up with you. We'll be there soon. Okay. And so stay in this place of letting your central nervous system just relax a little bit. Your poor central nervous system. Yeah. Too much, too much. You're going to teach your kids too this parasympathetic breathing, because it's very simple to understand that the exhale needs to be longer than the inhale. It's not hard, but it totally reorients you to how you're thinking about your breathing all the time. Yeah, so good. Send anger out. Love it. Okay, so keep that position, shoulders rolled back, palms on your knees, facing up. And so we're going to go within your body now, and we're going to do a check-in at each of your 7 chakras. And as I guide you from point to point, we're going to go crown to root. I'm going to share with you what parts of your body to be aware of in that moment. And what you are looking for is any pain or discomfort or any sensation of a blockage around that particular area of your body. And I just want you to make a note of it, because then we're going to collect them and we're going to send them down into the center of the earth once we get to the root. So just notice now. Your job for the next 5 minutes is just to notice. So bring your awareness into your body now. Let go of your awareness of the room that you're in or the sounds around you, the sirens that may be happening outside your window. Just bringing your awareness to your body. We'll laugh about this one day. So at your crown, this is really the seat in many ways of your central nervous system. This is where a lot of your anxiety as well as your peace resides. So this is where a lot of your thoughts about your emotions, your mind, the monkey mind, any headaches or migraines. So just taking a moment to notice your crown. Any feelings, any discomfort. This is right at the top of your head right here. If you're feeling anxious at all, just checking in around that. Just noticing, not judging, just sensing what's happening there. And then it's your third eye, which is right between your eyebrows. This is your vision, physical vision as well as your inner vision. Just taking note of anything there. A lot of times the third eye will also connect to your ears, so any sensations basically that wrap around your head at the center of your head are governed by the third eye. If you have lower level migraines or migraines maybe sort of the back of your neck or the back of your head, those would also be ruled by the third eye. How do your eyes feel? Are your eyes tired? Just noticing. And then at the throat chakra, this is the seat of your metabolism, of your food. This is also, of course, your throat. Your ears are also ruled by the throat chakra. So this is your sense of hearing, as well as your mouth and your sense of speech, the throat, and your metabolism. So noticing any challenges there that might point to areas of resistance. Interestingly, how well you are metabolizing your food is connected to how well you're speaking the truth in the world. Do you know that? That's something to think about. And then to your heart chakra. This is your physical heart. I'm just feeling called to call in your guides to help support you here, to make you aware as we roam through your body. This is the physical heart, as well as your sensations of love. Also governs the shoulders, the upper back, and the spinal cord. You're just noticing, how does your back feel? How does your heart feel? How do your shoulders feel? I'm just making a note. The blood is technically ruled by the heart chakra because it's where all the action happens. Just take a note of your circulation. How does your circulation feel in this moment? How's the blood flow to your legs, blood flow to your hands? And then moving to the solar plexus, this is the seat of your digestion. In Ayurvedic medicine, this is the seat of your entire health. Sits right here. Certainly your sense of power and empowerment is here. When you feel powerless, a lot of people who have IBS and Crohn's and irritable bowel, all the things, talk about feeling out of power, out of control in their lives. And they get that power restored back, and all of a sudden the symptoms dissipate. So there's a connection between how empowered you feel in your life and how your digestion functions. Different things like diverticulitis. There have been all kinds of conversations about how diverticulitis is about resisting or pushing pain down, and it forms these little physical pockets in your intestines. Moving to the sacral chakra, which of course is your center of reproduction. So this governs both for men and women, the reproductive organs. Also governs sexual appetite as well as function. And this is your seat of desire. This is about feeling desired and desirable. So how are you doing that? Just noticing. that this is a place that needs your attention if you have some resistance here and what's coming up around that. This is also a place where resistance might look like sexual trauma. A lot of times the loss of a child will show up as resistance here. Just making note. And then your root chakra, which is at the base of your spine, right, where your tailbone sits. And that is where that is the center of your skeleton. So this is about your bones and the structure of your body. So just for a moment, it's an odd thing to become aware of, but becoming aware of your skeleton. Fingers, toes, joints. Arthritis is one sign of a resistance at the root chakra, which is about perhaps not feeling safe. When we feel unsafe in our physical body or in our space, that can manifest itself as joint problems and arthritic issues. Yeah. So just making a note. No judgment here. All of us have these, by the way. I mean, this and all kinds of other things. So there's no judgment there. But if you're having any kind of skeletal joint bone issues, bones not healing well enough, just making a note that there's a connection there to the root chakra. And this is Kali's realm, as it were. This is the physical structure of your life and the structure of your body as you move through this life. And now as we sit at the root, I want you to imagine that there is a cord of light, a beam of light. Become very aware of your hips right now. I want you to imagine that that beam of light is the width of your hips on the floor. And I want you to create that beam of light to be red or brown or black. Give it a dark color and really feel it expand underneath you. Make it as wide and as deep as your entire being, hip to hip. And feel that beam of light expand underneath you and see it expand down below you through the floor, down into the earth, and push that cord of light down. And if you're having trouble visualizing this, this is where Kali can be helpful because she can expand that cord on your behalf. This is her realm. So asking for guidance and assistance there to create that space within you and beneath you to connect you to the very center of the earth. This is a very helpful grounding exercise when you feel ungrounded or unsafe. We're going to send this cord of light, this red, brown, black cord of light down into the very center of the earth, connecting it to the molten core, to the very center of the earth that is just a fiery realm, and this is where Kali resides. And now if you have your stones, I want you to take them. Remember to keep the cooling stone in your left hand and the warming stone in your right hand as we do this. And so I want you to go back up to your crown for just a moment. Once you've established that cord, that grounding cord through your hips, I want you to go back up to the crown and do a scan. And I want you to imagine yourself pulling each of those places of resistance. If you notice something, maybe with migraines, if you notice something with your vision, and just pull those pockets down, those places of resistance. What we're doing is releasing them this evening. If you notice something at your throat with your metabolism, or if you notice something at your heart around blood or circulation, and you can imagine yourself literally just pulling those places of resistance, or you can imagine them working their way through your blood down into that grounding cord. Just smoothing out those places and those pockets in your body where you noticed a resistance. If you're visual, if you're clairvoyant, sometimes these look like dark patches. You can actually see a little pocket of darkness in your chakras. And just go through from crown to third eye, to throat, to heart, to solar plexus, picking up those pieces and those places of resistance and gathering them as you go down through the solar plexus to the sacral, down into your root. If there's diverticulitis and the little pockets and pieces, And as you do, also send your love to those places. And that's where the mother aspect of Kali can come in and mother those places in you that need to be cleared. And also call in healing guides, your higher self, any energies or beings that need to be present for this for you. And just watching, visualizing all those little pockets and places in you that could be decades old. The resistance we're talking about could have happened when you were 2 years old, or 10 years old, or 30 years old. But they're all the same tonight in terms of needing to be released and cleared. I'm feeling it most for the collective in the heart. A lot of heartache and trauma around the heart that needs to be cleared. This is a perfect night. And as we clear these things, you're not going to carry them with you into 2016. You're sort of giving these areas of your body permission to be restored and regenerated. And as you clear them and connect them and gather them up, imagine now sending all of those pockets, those places of resistance down through that grounding cord into the center of the earth. And that grounding cord being so dark down underneath you that they just disappear into the center of the earth. And we ask the earth to receive these places within us, these places of pain or resistance, trauma. If we are done with the work of them and we've learned the lesson from them, let them be released tonight. Let this be Kali's work on our behalf. And take a moment. You can do the scan again if you want. Just one more quick scan. Crown to third eye, to throat, to heart, to solar plexus, sacral, to the root. But really visualize those going down into the center of this grounding cord. And now anything else you wish to clear, even outside of your physical body, take a moment to pull those energies into that grounding cord as well. Where have you put your energy this month or in the last 6 months that needs to be cleared? Is there a relationship, a conversation, a situation, a feeling, an emotion? Sending all of that down into the grounding cord. And to Kali and to Mother Earth, we release these to you. And we thank you for receiving them on our behalf. And with them, we surrender control over them. And we surrender the desire to benefit from them. And we're ready to let these things go tonight. And in their place, we call in healing and light and peace, regeneration, physical regeneration, emotional regeneration, spiritual regeneration, a clarity that we may not have known before, an alignment with our purpose, the higher calling. That is what Kali offers, is a realignment. And take a moment just to notice how good this is. That total centering, that focus from crown to root and to the center of the earth. And that this is always a place you can come back to, this complete centering of yourself and this complete opening to the earth that will always help you to feel safe and connected and grounded. Just make a note of what this feels like. And if you have your perfume, take just a moment to inhale the scent of it. Let the scent remind you of what this moment feels like. And when you're ready, when you feel like you have sent everything down the cord that needs to be released, you're going to seal up the grounding cord. And so the way you do that is you imagine that chasm that's extending from your hips down into the center of the earth, imagine a great narrowing there. A narrowing underneath you, almost like the ground closing underneath you over that cord. And if you're visual, it really helps to imagine almost like your hands closing the earth underneath you. And really feel now the disconnection between your root chakra and the earth itself, sensing your distinction from the earth to close that cord. Can we give thanks to Kali, to the guides? For allowing us to leave behind this evening the things that no longer need to be carried with us into this year. And this, my friends, is where we're going to pick up next month with Bridget in our meditation. Bridget being the keeper of the sacred flame as well as the keeper of the healing waters. And so you might be able to see how I'm going to tie them in, because she will pick up where this work has left off. And I think it will help a great deal. Are you feeling good? How are you feeling in the room? Lighter? Make sure you really see the earth closed and your body above it. Yeah, I don't want to leave you here walking around with a huge grounding cord to the center of the earth. You don't need that. That doesn't feel good to carry that around. Yeah. So good. And hopefully you saw something tonight, some pocket of resistance that maybe wasn't clear to you before. I did. I mean, even as we were doing it, I was like, oh, well, look at that. I knew some of them, right? But I don't always know all of them. But when you do meditations like this and people talk to you about their health, you'll start to have these moments. Like I said, I have family who have diverticulitis. I always use that as an example, but it's so fascinating to me that everyone I know who has diverticulitis has done that, has like pushed the pain, push, you know what I mean? Do you know what I'm talking about? And then all of a sudden there's a pocket in the intestine that's like, well, isn't that interesting? You can physically push pain into a pocket, and then what? And I have seen people do the reverse, where they've really gone in and looked at what's there, and all of a sudden there's a lessening of the symptoms. So, your emotional health is really important, because if you don't take care of it, eventually I think it manifests in the body. Same with chest pain, you need to attend to those issues on a spiritual and emotional level. You will feel so much better physically. I really do think that's true. Sherry asked, do you think the goddesses and gods work with you without you realizing it? I do. I think it's true. And that's why what's interesting to me about, and shaman talk about this a lot too. When you decide to do a shamanic journey, that's the moment the change starts to happen in you. Like the moment you decide, not the moment you take the journey. The journey is almost the last bit of it. And so you can decide to do a journey 3 months from now, and today the work starts. And that's what's really interesting about energy work. It's like the intention. The intention is what begins the process. And then the thing itself is almost, I won't say it's not important, but it's not the work, the actual journey itself. It's your intention and the process leading up to it. And that's what's magical to me about this work. Right? And cue siren for us, yeah. Okay, so let's close the circle, shall we? Shall we close the circle? So, shoulders back, palms up. The energy of the circle came to you in your right hand. That's how you'll release it. It's been so good to be with you tonight. And so, letting the energy of the circle go, releasing it from your right hand. giving thanks to everybody who's been here. I don't know how many people are in the room, but we got a lot of people in the room. Maybe 100 people here live and 600 people online. It's been a really nice big group tonight. So just thankful for your presence. We couldn't do this without you. We could, but it would be fun. So letting that energy go out of your right hand into your hand usually gets a little colder. And letting that circle of light unwind its way back around the circle. When you do, the last of it will come to you with your left hand. And what I like to do is turn my hand upside down and send the energy of the circle down into the center of the earth. You don't want to hold that. It's not yours to hold. I always tell everybody, you don't create energy and you don't destroy it. You just work with it. That's a law of physics. So energy can't be created, it can't be destroyed. It can just be raised, and then it can be sent in other directions. So we send it down to the center of the earth, where we ask the guides, Pachamama, Great Spirit, to transform and transmute it and use it where it is most needed for the highest good of all. And with gratitude, we say, Amen, Aho, and so it is. I want to release the directions as well. We had beautiful directional connection tonight to Kali, I thought. Kali to me represents almost all the elements, so we want to give thanks to the 4 directions. We ended with north, so thank you to the direction of north, the great guardians there, for the wisdom. Thank you to the guardians of the gateway of the west, to the emotions. Kali is a great healer of the emotions in the heart, but the way she gets there is a little different. Thank you to the direction of south, element of fire. That's certainly one of Kali's primary elements. Leo moon reflects that as well. And then great thanks to the east and for flow, for the breath of life, which Kali also rules. Gratitude to the guardians of the east for keeping the space. And solar circle is open. I don't want to pat myself on the back too much, but it's 7 o'clock. Sometimes I'm like, how does that always happen? I don't know. It's not intentional. A lot of years of teaching experience, maybe. I want to thank you for being here. Next month, it is Bridget. This is the Sage Goddess interpretation. All of the art is original art. I'm very proud of that. I have an incredible artist on my staff who actually created that image of Kali. And created this image, the 3 faces of Bridget. So some people ask, how do you find your art? We create it. It's really special. Bridget's perfume, Bridget's herbs, totally different. Totally different. Kali was more floral and fiery. Bridget is way down into the earth. And she has one of the great healing herbs in this little tin called nettle, which Native Americans call nettle nature's band-aid because it heals all the things. But totally radically different turn next month with the herbs, the perfume, the essential oils, and the candle itself. And the energy, of course, the goddess herself is very different. So I look forward to seeing you next month at the full moon. Thank you, everybody, for being here. This will be recorded and archived. We have a full moon Facebook group on Facebook. I don't know if you know that. Called Full Moon Ritualists, and so would love to have you join. We'll put the link up so that you know how to join the Full Moon group, so you can chat with each other afterward. And if you're interested in learning more about the goddesses, my magical sabbatical class is capped this year, and it is almost full. So if you want to learn more, we do the really deep dive on the herbs, the stones, we craft together. We're going to be making Bridget's crosses. I'm doing a meditation on the 4 gifts of Bridget this month. So if you're interested in the deeper dive on all of this, the magical sabbatical would be really good for you. But it is going to be capped this year because I don't want it to get too big. And so you can go to sagegoddess.com/register to find out more information about the sabbatical if you're interested. Happy full moon. Get your stones out there. If it's snowing, I know, don't do the thing. Don't go I don't want you to have frostbite. Put them in a nice windowsill somewhere. If you can get them outside, do that. But just know that you've been very brave to show up for the work of Kali this month. I honor you for doing that work. And the work continues next month with Bridget. So bright blessings to you. I will see you soon. Take care, everybody. Yay! I always wait for it. Wait for it. Wait for it.